All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the really complex and honestly, sometimes totally predatory landscape of alternative retirement investments, specifically gold IRAs. We're going to look at some incredibly timely data, walk through new regulatory warnings, and even break down a real-world company collapse. The goal here? To give you a truly honest review of what it actually costs to invest in precious metals for your retirement.
Here's our roadmap for the explainer today. 1. Evolving financial threats. 2. FINRA's fraud warnings. 3. The Gold Alliance closure. 4. Anatomy of IRA fees. And 5. Protecting your investments. Let's get into it. Section 1. Evolving financial threats. Okay, so this heavily anticipated 2026 FINRA report is going to serve as our foundation today. FINRA, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, is calling out a massive surge in cyber-enabled fraud and financial crimes targeting investors. They're making it crystal clear in this brand new report that external fraud threats are evolving at a breakneck pace. These bad actors are getting incredibly sophisticated, and unfortunately, they are specifically taking aim at the retirement assets of older investors.
Section 2. FINRA's fraud wordings.
Now, you can see here that these external threats are all over the map. FINRA is actively tracking everything from crypto confidence frauds and imposter sites to mail theft and bogus investment clubs. But I want you to look at that very first bullet point, gold bar courier scams. This is where the physical precious metals market is seeing just an unprecedented level of manipulation. Scammers know people are anxious about the economy, so they're preying on folks looking to move their liquid retirement assets into physical gold.
Let's break down how wild this actually is. In a gold bar courier scam, the fraudster convinces you to liquidate your traditional securities to buy physical precious metals. Okay, so now you have the gold. Then they convince you to physically hand those metals over to fake couriers. They'll even impersonate government officials saying things like, "Oh, we're taking this for safekeeping," or "We're providing secure custody." The terrifying takeaway: scammers are literally talking people into handing over highly valuable, tangible assets to complete strangers. It's just mind-blowing.
Section 3. The Gold Alliance closure. So let's pivot from these broad regulatory warnings to a very specific micro case study. We're talking about Gold Alliance. These guys were a massive player in the space. They were founded back in 2002, formally restructured around 2017, and right up until 2024, they were on fire. Rapid growth, an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, 5-star consumer scores, celebrity endorsements, the whole shebang. But then, out of nowhere, on June 24th, 2024, they just abruptly ceased operations. The floor totally fell out from under a seemingly rock-solid firm. Oh, and real quick, speaking of protecting your nest egg, if you are an American retiree with $100,000 or more in an IRA or retirement account, hang tight. I've got a free resource for you at the end of this explainer that's going to help you avoid these exact kinds of disasters.
Now, just look at this official statement they slapped on their website. Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are closing our business effective June 24, 2024. Boom. Done. Imagine taking your life savings, rolling it into a gold IRA, and then logging on one morning to see this. Countless clients were just left holding the bag, completely clueless about what to do with their retirement accounts next, relying on some temporary helpline to try and manage their own assets.
The contrast here is just staggering. On the marketing side, it was all pristine PR, A+ ratings, and ultimate trust. But the reality? Reviewers were consistently pointing out a total lack of price transparency. You couldn't even compare costs online. You had to call in to get a quote. And when the shutdown happened, the reps practically vanished into thin air. People's calls went completely unreturned for weeks.
And right before they closed their doors, customers were getting hit with shocking, hidden margins. Margins as high as 20%. We're not talking about standard market fluctuations here. This was the built-in penalty just for trying to cash out and get their money back. Look at this real review from a guy named John on Trustpilot. He said, "When I needed to sell some of my gold, I was sent to Kyle, who told me they had to make a 20% profit when they bought the gold back." Now, John actually got incredibly lucky because the spot price of gold happened to surge roughly 20% while he held it, so he broke even. But think about what that really means. That spread instantly devoured his entire portfolio growth. If the market hadn't gone up, he would have literally lost a fifth of his retirement savings simply by cashing out.
Section 4, Anatomy of IRA Fees.
All right, let's look at the true anatomy of these fees. This is data pulled by industry analyst at Diversify Guy. Looking at highly rated companies today like Augusta, Birch, and Noble. Notice how those setup fees look super reasonable at first glance, like 50 to 80 bucks. But look one column over. You've got recurring annual custodian fees of around $100, plus mandatory physical storage fees of $100 to $150 every single year. So sure, it looks cheap on day one, but those recurring fees stack up year after year, completely altering your real return on investment.
And honestly, those are just the fees they're actually willing to publish. Most dealers intentionally sweep a bunch of other costs under the rug. We're talking storage facility charges, obscure administrative fees, insurance costs to protect the physical gold, early withdrawal penalties, and, like we just saw with Gold Alliance, those massive buy-sell spreads. The marketing material points a big flashing arrow at a cheap, one-time setup fee while hoping you completely ignore the silent portfolio killers that are going to slowly bleed your account dry over a 20-year retirement.
Section 5. Protecting your investments. So how do we navigate this safely? You absolutely must ask these non-negotiable questions to pierce right through their marketing jargon. Number 1, are there any other initial fees hiding behind the setup cost? Number 2, give me the total out-the-door yearly cost for maintenance and storage. Number 3, are insurance and security at the depository included, or are you going to nickel and dime me for that later? And number 4, this is the big one, what is the total buying and selling spread? You have to know what it's going to cost you to liquidate those assets when you finally need the cash. And to make it even easier, financial researchers have established these absolute red line limits for you. If a dealer quotes you a setup cost over $250, an annual fee over $300, storage over $250, or a transaction spread over 5%, just walk away. Immediately. There are absolutely reputable dealers out there operating way below these numbers. If you're paying more than this, you're not securing your retirement, you're just funding a salesman's next vacation. So I'll leave you with this thought. If hidden fees and predatory spreads consume your retirement growth before you even have a chance to cash out, what is the true price of a quote-unquote safe investment? Always do your own research, demand absolute transparency, and never let anyone pressure you into a sale. Now, as I promised earlier, if you are an American retiree sitting on $100,000 or more in an IRA or retirement account, and you want to make sure you do this exactly by the book, go check out the link in the description. I've got a completely free, highly detailed Gold IRA guide for you. It's an honest review of the top-rated, fully vetted companies operating right now, and it will help you steer clear of all the hidden traps we talked about today. Click the link, grab your free guide, and take control of your financial future safely. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you on the next one.